Hello my dear students, welcome back to Learn Physics. In today's video, we are continuing with kinematics portion. As I said you in the previous videos, today also we are continuing with the revision topic. What and all theory portions we learned about kinematics portion. All together we are considering all the topics and will be some 70 questions are there here in DC Pandey's book. As a level 1, I am referring mainly the DC Pandey sir's book only I am considering. This is for NEET and JEE students. Okay, so I think the previous videos are useful for you, same like today's video also it will be useful I guess. So we'll start. So the first question is, a stone is allowed to fall freely from rest. The ratio of the time taken to fall through the first meter and second meter distances. So a stone is allowed to fall from rest. So initial velocity is equal to 0, A equals G. This is when the stone is falling freely from rest position. This is the initial condition, right? And here the ratio of time taken to fall to first meter. So if S is equal to 1 meter, what is the time? T1 I am taking. And the second meter only it is. So S is 2 meter at that time T2 is the time. So we need to find out T1 by T2, first meter and second meter time, what is the ratio. For that we need to find out T1 and T2. How can we find out T1? By considering these equations, we can write it as S is equal to ut plus half at square. So 1 equals half into g into T1 square. So what is T1? T1 square equals 2 by g. T1 equals root of 2 by g. Okay, now in second meter, what is the time? That one we don't know. So for what we can do, we can find out the till second meter, how can we find what will be the total time required? Okay, so considering all these conditions, what will be the time required? Okay, so S is equal to, that is totally 2 meters it travelled. S is equal to ut plus half gt square. So we can write it as t square equals 4 by g, t equals root of 4 by g. Here we will get it as 2 by root g. The total time required is 2 by root g, and for the first meter it is taking root of 2 by g. So what will be the time required for the second meter? It will be total time minus this one. So 2 by root g minus root of 2 by g. This is T2, right? Now we can find out the ratio T1 by T2. T1 is root of 2 by g divided by 2 by root g minus root 2 by root g. Here root g is common everywhere, right? So we can avoid that one, root 2 divided by 2 minus root 2. Okay, here I can consider it as, see here, root 2 into root 2 I am taking, along with that I am multiplying with 2 plus root 2 on top and 2 plus root 2 in denominator also. Numerator and denominator I am multiplying with what is that, 2 plus root 2, just for a simplification. So here I will get it as root 2 into 2 plus root 2 divided by 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2 is 2, right? So here we will be getting it as 2. Therefore, root 2 into 2 plus root 2 divided by 2. So here it is 2 by root 2. See, now we can divide each one by root 2. 2 by root 2 is root 2 plus 1. This is the final answer. Because when I was checking with this answer, I got the answer like this. I thought of quitting it over there. Then when I am checking the answers, that kind of denominator was not there in the answer sheets. So answer which is given as option. So I was trying to avoid the denominator. So I got the answer as root 2 plus 1. That is correct. That is B. Option B. So clear, children? So here they asked us to find out the time required, ratio of time required in first meter and second meter. So second meter, we need to find out the time. How can we find out? We need the initial velocity for the second meter. That and all it's required, but we don't know about all those things. So better you can go for the total time required, then subtract. Clear? Next question is, which of the following represents uniformly accelerated motion? So here it is given x is equal to root of t plus a by b, and second one x is equal to t plus a divided by b. Third option, t equals root of x plus a divided by b. Fourth option, x is equal to root of t plus a. So which one is representing uniformly accelerated motion? Position and time relation only throughout it is given. So uniformly accelerated motion depending on s and t, position and time. Which formula we know? We know that s is equal to ut plus half at square. So we can write down in this equation in terms of s is equal to ut plus half at square. Are we able to do that? So here s is equal to root t. Here it is s is equal to t only it is coming, right? Here also s is equal to t only, s is proportional to t only it is coming. Now we can take this equation t square, t equals root of x plus a by b. So in that equation there is a chance for getting this t square. So I am squaring both the sides. T square equals x plus a divided by b. So here we will get it as bt square equals x plus a, bt square equals, so s is proportional to x. So when we are comparing these two equations, so bt square minus a equals x, like that we are getting. So here initial velocity can be equal to 0. That's why we are getting it like that. Okay, then you will think, what is this? So displacement means initial position minus final position is the displacement, right? So this may be the initial position. So this is the order. So here in this statements, this one gives C, gives the uniformly accelerated motion. So you can compare the given options with the equations which we already know. Okay, v equals u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at square, v square minus u square equals 2as. Well, here why we opted for this equation? Because this is the relation connecting position and time. That's why we opted for this equation. Next one. A particle moves along a straight line. Its position at any instant is given by x is equal to 32t minus 8t cube by 4, where x is in meters, t in seconds. Find the acceleration of the particle at the instant when the particle is at rest. We need to find out the acceleration when the particle is at rest. When will the particle be at rest? That one we need to find out first. What is the, how will we find out when the particle is at rest? Last class also I told you, when the particle is at rest, its velocity will be equal to 0. So here we can find out the velocity dx by dt, that is equal to 32 minus 24t square by 4. This we can equate to 0. Therefore 32 equals 24t square divided by 4. Here it is 6, t square equals 32, t equals root of 32 divided by 6. Now what we should find out? Acceleration. Acceleration, how can we find out? Again we can differentiate this equation. Therefore this is velocity, we got it, and now acceleration is dv by dt. dv by dt, velocity differentiation of a constant is equal to 0. This minus 24 by 4 is 6 minus 6 into 2 into t to the power 2 minus 1, that is equal to t. Therefore minus 12t. that is the acceleration. Now what can we do? We can multiply that with the root of 32 by 6, minus 32 into root of 32 divided by, minus 12 into root of 32 divided by 6. This is how we can solve this and find out the answer. Next question is, a point moves in a straight line so that its displacement x at time t is given by x square equals t square plus 1. Its acceleration is, so here what is that, displacement is given, acceleration. As we said in the previous questions, from the displacement we can find out by differentiating twice. Yeah, so 2x into dx by dt, that will be equal to 2 dx by dt equals 2t. Therefore, 2x into v equals 2t, v equals t by x. Now we can find out the acceleration. Acceleration is dv by dt. As acceleration, instead of x we can write it as t square plus 1 root of t square plus 1, right? This one we can write it as t into t square plus 1 the whole power minus half I am writing. So for first function into differential of second t square plus 1 the whole raised to minus half minus 1 is minus 3 by 2 plus second function into, that is t square plus 1 the whole raised to minus half into dt by dt is 1. This one we can half into t square plus 1 the whole power minus 3 by 2 plus t square plus 1 the whole power minus half. Here we can write it as half into t into x to the power. This is minus half, right? So t square plus 1 is x square. We can write x square the whole power minus 3 plus here it is x square the whole power minus 1. This one we can write it as half into t into x square plus 1, that is x to the power minus 3 plus x to the power minus x square the whole power minus half x to the power minus 1. Therefore, t by 2x cube plus 1 by x, that is acceleration. So acceleration is varying as x cube. It is proportional to x cube. Okay. Next question. The displacement x of a particle varies with the time t as x equals a e to the power x equals a e to the power minus alpha t plus b e to the power beta t. A, b, alpha, beta are positive constants. Velocity of the particle will go on increasing with the time, go on decreasing with the time, independent of alpha and beta, drop to 0 when alpha equals beta. This is the question. So here it is, displacement is given. We need to find out the velocity of the particle, how it will be varying. Velocity no need to find out, but we should find out how velocity is varying. Varying velocity, how can we understand that, how the velocity will be varying? While finding out the acceleration, we will come to know how the velocity is changing, whether it is increasing or decreasing, whether it is depending on alpha or beta, that and all. For that, here we can write dx by dt is velocity, therefore minus alpha a into e to the power minus alpha t plus beta into e to the power beta t. Then again we can differentiate the velocity d square x by dt square minus alpha square into a into e to the power minus alpha t plus b into beta into e to the power beta square into e to the power beta t. Here while we are looking into this equation, here it is minus into minus, it is plus. So alpha is positive, a is positive, b is positive, beta square is positive. All are positive values. So acceleration will be positive. That means velocity will be increasing with respect to time. So that is the answer. Velocity is go on increasing with respect to time. Next question is, the ratio of distance travelled in successive interval of time by a body falling from rest r. So here it is given like the ratio of distance travelled by a body in successive interval of time by a body falling from rest. 1:3:5:7 and 2:4:6:8 and 1:4:7:10:13 and none of the above. So the ratio of distance travelled in successive intervals of time falling from rest. So each interval of time we need. So at a particular time interval, how can we find out the distance travelled? We know that Sn equals u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. This is the formula, right? So here initial, which is starting from rest, already it is stored. So u is 0. So S is proportional to 2n minus 1. Okay, so here in each interval of time, how it will be varying? See, when it is n is equal to 0, S will be 1. N is equal to 1. N is equal to 1. What is that? N is equal to 0. It's not required. Time is equal to 0. N is equal to 1 means 2 into 1 into 2. 2 minus 1, 1. N is equal to 2 is 3. N is equal to 3 is 6 minus 1, 5. So 1:3:5:7 is the answer. Okay, so as the distance, the question given like distance, we need to find out the distance travelled by the object for each interval of time. So in each interval of time, if we need to calculate the distance travelled, Sn equals u plus in nth second. What is the time distance travelled by the body in nth second? Sn equals u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. So here, since it is at rest, u is 0, a by 2 into 2n minus 1. So as per time, how it is varying? It is proportional to 2n minus 1. So the answer will be 1:3:5:7. Next question is, a particle starting from rest, its acceleration a versus time graph is given in a figure. So this is acceleration, here it is t, here initially it is 10 meter per second square and now it is 11 seconds. This maximum speed of the particle will be, acceleration time graph is given. How can we find out the speed or velocity? We can find it as area under AT graph will give you velocity, maximum velocity. So here, how can we find out? This is like a triangle. So half into base into height. Here it is 55 meter per second. That will be the answer. Your answer is 55 meter per second, B. Okay, so these are, so here in next question is given acceleration time graph is given like this. Acceleration time graph is given like this. We need to convert that graph into velocity time graph. So acceleration is decreasing with respect to time. So the velocity will be, it is under, yes, velocity time graph we will be getting it as, it's uniformly decreasing graph. So it will be, velocity time graph will be a parabolic graph, parabolic in nature. Okay, so these are some of the questions given in this taking it together section. So I hope all these videos are useful for you, and if you have any suggestions, please give that in the comment box. And if you like the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Thank you for watching. Bye.